So good morning, students. We are
Good.
studying
Okay.
last unit of the subject renewable energy technology. In the last unit, there are three important topics to be studied. First is geothermal, second one is hydrogen, and third one is fuel cell. In the previous lectures, we have covered energy generation from geothermal resources. And in today's lecture, we will see the energy generation using hydrogen. You know, hydrogen is considered as most abundant source of energy. It is having large amount of energy available with the hydrogen. Hydrogen is a natural gas which exists in the nature. Its chemical composition, it is having one atom only. Hydrogen is the chemical element with symbol H and atomic number 1. It is the lightest element in the periodic table. Okay. It consists of only one proton and one electron, and it is an energy carrier. This is very, very important sentence, that it is energy carrier. It is the most abundant chemical substance found in the universe. It is colorless, tasteless, odorless, non-metallic gas, and it is highly flammable. That's why it is also used as a fuel in rockets. When burned as fuel or converted to electricity, it joins with oxygen to produce energy with water as the only emission. This is again very important sentence. Though combustion of this is somewhat difficult, but when it is burned or when it is converted to electricity using fuel cell, then it produces water as the only emission. That's why it is known as the most cleanest source of energy. But its combustion is somewhat difficult. That's why it is not right now utilized as source for IC engine fuel. Okay. Hydrogen can be stored and delivered, can store and deliver usable energy, but it doesn't typically exist by itself in nature and must be produced from compounds that contain it. That means it is written that it is found in the universe in most abundant quantity, but it is not available in its purest form. It is available in other form. It is available in fossil fuels. So when we process fossil fuel, then we can obtain the hydrogen gas. So it can store and deliver energy, but it doesn't typically exist by itself in nature, and it must be produced from compounds that contain it. So this slides give us brief introduction about hydrogen. Know that it is the chemical compound. It is the lightest element available in the periodic table. It is represented as H or H2, and its atomic number is 1. It contains just one proton and one electron, and it is considered as energy carrier. Okay. It is the most abundant chemical substance found in the universe. It is colorless, tasteless, odorless, non-metallic gas, and it is highly inflammable. This is sixth sentence is important because when it is burned, when hydrogen is burned, or it joins with oxygen to produce energy, as in case of fuel cell, then the only emission that is left out is the water. When combustion takes place in presence of air, then sometimes NOx is also, nitrogen oxide is also produced in small quantities. Okay. So this is brief introduction about hydrogen. Next one is some uses of hydrogen. So hydrogen is used for commercial fixation of nitrogen from the air in the Haber ammonia process. Okay. Hydrogenation of it is also used for hydrogenation of fats and oils. It is used for methanol production. It is used in rocket fuels. Okay. Uh, it is used in case of welding also. If you remember that hydrogen as an inert gas can be used for performing TIG, TIG and MIG welding processes, tungsten inert gas shielding arc welding process, and metal inert gas shielding, shield arc gas welding process. It is used for production of hydrochloric acid. It is used for production of metallic ores, and there are other uses also of the hydrogen. If we consider hydrogen as a fuel source, then application number 4 says that it is used as a fuel in case of rockets. That means in order to uh, take combustion inside rocket, hydrogen is used as a fuel. Its combustion is not controlled, that's why it is not commercialized or generally not used in as a fuel in internal combustion engine. So in this slide you can see various uses of hydrogen. Those uses has not been written by considering its application as source of energy only, but I have written the applications of hydrogen the way it is used in industries for performing various tasks. Okay. Then the important question is this: then how hydrogen can be produced? So there are different methods which are used. The important methods are hydrothermal, thermochemical method, then water electrolysis, and thermolysis of water. So we will discuss these three processes in detail. Hydrogen can be produced from diverse resources. Currently, most hydrogen is produced from fossil fuels, especially from natural gas or methane reformation also. This process is known as thermochemical. Second process is electrolysis process, in which electricity is used for disintegration of water into hydrogen and oxygen. The electricity needed for electrolysis process can be used from renewable energy sources available like solar, wind, geothermal, or biomass. So these sources can be used for generation of the electricity, and that electricity is supplied for electrolysis of water for production of the hydrogen. In the longer term, solar energy and biomass can be used directly to generate hydrogen. So electrolysis of water and thermochemical method, and one more method is there which is known as thermolysis of water. That means from water, we are having large amount of water available in earth, so that water available in sea is not not good for drinking purpose, but it can be used for generation of the electricity. So by two ways energy can be generated, or initially hydrogen can be generated from the water, can be generated from the electrolysis process, that can be generated from the thermolysis of the water. Apart from this method is currently most used in USA for producing almost 95% of the hydrogen. That means 95% of the hydrogen is generated by using thermochemical process, in which fossil fuels are decomposed to produce hydrogen, and electrolysis and thermolysis process of water just produces 5% of the hydrogen as produced in the United States. So this data is the generation of hydrogen in USA only. Then we can see thermochemical process. So hydrogen production from natural gas and other fossil fuels is produced. Fossil fuels can be reformed to release the hydrogen from their hydrocarbon molecules and are the source of most of the hydrogen currently made in the United States. That means by reforming of the fossil fuels, basically natural gas and methane is derived from the fossil fuels, and that is again reformed for production of the hydrogen. So certain chemical processes taking place and the hydrogen is generated. That hydrogen is captured and stored for further use. Natural gas reforming or steam reforming of methane is used for generation of hydrogen. And today, 95% of the hydrogen produced in the United States is made by natural gas reforming in large central plants. It is the most cost-effective technology available today. So if we discuss, then there are we found that there are three important processes: thermochemical, electrolysis of water, and thermolysis of water. So out of those three processes, thermochemical method, that means the formation of natural gas and water formation or steam reformation, is widely used for hydrogen production. Combining these processes, that means natural gas reforming, steam reforming, with carbon capture, utilization, and storage will reduce the carbon dioxide emissions. Okay. So this is the first method, which is known as thermochemical, in which by applying heat and chemical reactions from fossil fuels, specifically by natural gas reforming and steam reforming, hydrogen is produced, and it's written that almost 95% of the hydrogen produced in the United States so far is produced by this method only. Okay. Then there is electrolysis of water. So in this process, we supply electricity, and a cell which has water in it. Electricity is supplied. Then water is dissociated into hydrogen and oxygen, and this process is known as electrolysis. Electrolysis is a promising option for hydrogen production from renewable source. Electrolysis is the process of using electricity to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. This reaction takes place in a unit called electrolyzer. Electrolyzer consists of an anode and a cathode. We will see the figure also in second slide. So it consists of an anode and a cathode, and it is separated by an electrolyte. Different electrolyzers function in different way, mainly due to the different types of electrolytic material involved or used. Electrolyzers can range in size from a small to large scale central production facility that could be tied directly to renewable or non-greenhouse gas emitting forms of electricity production. We will see and this method is not that much cost effective as the thermochemical process. In this figure, you can see electrolyzer. It consists of two electrode. One is known as cathode, another is known as anode. Basically, this is a kind of a fuel cell in which we have filled water on one side and electrolytes also. So when we supply voltage across this, then some certain chemical reaction takes place, and from water, hydrogen and oxygen molecules are separated out. So we can collect hydrogen as well as oxygen also. This oxygen is used for generation of the electricity, and hydrogen is used for further purposes. In this case, a voltage of ideally a voltage of this is 1.23, not 123. It is 1.23 volt per cell is required at normal temperature and pressure. But due to practical reasons, we have to supply voltage of 2 volt in this electrolyzer. The energy required is 3.9 to 4.6 kilowatt hour per meter cube of hydrogen produced. And the efficiency of this process is about 60 to 70%. Okay, so you can see the chemical reactions which is written over here. 4H plus electrons, 4E minus, produces hydrogen, and here you can see 2H2O, that is by the dissociation is converted into oxygen and hydrogen. So further chemical reaction which takes place inside this electrolyte is this. So oxygen as well as hydrogen both are produced by in this process. Generally, oxygen is used for generation of electricity directly in the case of a fuel cell, which we will study in the last chapter of the unit number 5. And by this process, we can produce hydrogen also, which can be used for performing specific tasks. So far we have studied two processes. That is, first one was thermochemical method, in which by natural gas reforming or steam reforming, by the action of temperature and certain chemical reactions, fossil fuels get converted into hydrogen. That means fossil fuels liberate their hydrogen available in those fossil fuels, and it is collected and used for further applications. Second one is electrolysis of water, in which electricity will be supplied for dissociation of water into hydrogen and oxygen, and the required amount of electricity will be derived from renewable energy sources like wind, solar, geothermal, and biomass. So these sources of energy can be used for electrolysis of water for the production of hydrogen. Now, I put one question before you. Can we consider hydrogen as renewable energy source? Can anybody give answer of this question? Anyone? आप में से कोई इसका आंसर बता सकता है कि why hydrogen should be considered as a renewable energy source? Anyone from you? कोई भी आप में से? नो आइडिया? चलो, होता क्या है कि सबसे पहले अपन डिस्कस करते हैं कि व्हाट आर द सोर्सेज विच आर कंसिडर्ड एज renewable energy sources. So starting from unit number 1, we have studied solar power, wind energy, biomass, and then in 14 we have considered small hydropower, and then ocean power, geothermal energy. So we can see that all these sources are renewable. So can we consider hydrogen as renewable sources also? So answer is yes. Because when it is produced from source like water by electrolysis and thermolysis, then it is considered as renewable energy source. Though presently a large amount of hydrogen is not produced by electrolysis or thermolysis of water, but it utilizes the sources of renewable energy technology like solar, wind, and other sources for generation of the electricity, and the electricity is supplied for electrolysis of water. That's why this hydrogen is also considered as a renewable energy source. Okay. I have seen. Now, if you have any doubt, then you can unmute yourself and ask this question. Otherwise, we move for third process, that is known as thermolysis of water. Thermolysis, or it is thermochemical process of water. So in thermochemical water splitting process, use high temperature heat about 500 to 2000 degrees centigrade. So that much amount of heat temperature is needed for thermolysis of water to drive a series of chemical reactions that produce hydrogen. Energy required for thermolysis can be derived from concentrated solar power or from base heat of nuclear power reactions. The chemicals used in the process are used within each cycle. Energy required for thermolysis can be derived from concentrated solar power or from the base heat of nuclear power reactions. The chemicals used in the process are reused within each cycle, creating a closed loop that consumes only water and produces hydrogen and oxygen. This is a long-term technology pathway with potential low or no greenhouse gas emissions. So what is the meaning of thermolysis? That means we will supply high temperature on water for its dissociation. Earlier we discussed then in an electrolyzer, when we supply electricity, then also dissociation of water can be taken place in hydrogen and oxygen. And similar phenomena can occur if we apply large amount of temperature of the order of 500 to 2000 degrees centigrade. And this temperature can be derived from renewable energy sources like solar power and other sources. So thermolysis of water, the necessary high temperature can be generated in the following ways: concentrating sunlight onto a reactor tower using a field of mirror हेलियोस्टैट्स. इन दोनों आप देखते हो कि ये सोलर पावर वाली चीजें यहाँ बनी हुई है जो अगर अपन ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं. दिस इज द सन. From this, heliostats or mirrors available in series, arranged in series, receives heat, and the incident radiation which falls over these heliostats is reflected onto a central receiver where high temperature is generated. We supply the water. Due to high temperature of the water, there's dissociation of water takes place and it is converted into hydrogen and oxygen. Similar concept is there. There is only change in the design, and instead of flat plane mirror, cycloid or parabolic mirror are used in this case. So this is parabolic disc concentrator, but concept is same. The sun radiation which is incident on this either this kind of heliostats or parabolic disc concentrator. It is focused on central receiver. Your water is available, large amount of it is produced. Temperature is of the order of more than 500 degrees centigrade. That causes the dissociation of water into hydrogen and oxygen. In that way, hydrogen can be separated. So in this lecture, we have discussed about important properties of hydrogen, its applications, and three important processes of production of hydrogen, that is thermochemical, electrolysis of water, and hydrolysis of water. So now if you have any doubt, then you can unmute yourself and ask the question. किसी को भी किसी प्रकार का डाउट है तो आप लोग यहाँ पे अनम्यूट करके क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं.